Welcome back to the Oh Here We Go podcast, guys.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm Lacey.
What's up?
How you doing?
We have a heavy interview today. It's like,
Yeah.
it's heavy.
Okay, so Stephanie and I are big fans of in-person interviews because you just feel the energy. Like, it's just different. And every time we've done an interview over Zoom or whatever, there's just a disconnect because you can't really like feel that person's energy.
Yeah, and you feed off of each other in interviews. And when it's a screen, it's
different.
It's harder, and it weighs on us a little bit because we're so like and like and we have so many questions we want to ask, and we want to bounce back and forth. But then on the computer, we're just like,
I feel like there's just more room to almost like interrupt the other person, and I don't like that.
I know, I definitely don't like that either, but sometimes you almost just have to, and it's just not a good way to. We'll get to the point where we don't have to do that.
But y'all, today's interview is about narcissism, and we have a self-aware narcissist come on. He was diagnosed with Narcissistic Personality Disorder. His name is Lee Hammock, also known as Mental Healness on all of his social media channels. And I found him on TikTok. And you know when you're on TikTok and you start liking like a kind of video, TikTok then recommends more of that type of video to you. So the past couple of months, my TikTok feed has just been filled. What did I just say?
Fields.
My TikTok feed has been filled with videos about narcissists and narcissistic behaviors. And I have almost had like my own little revelation or aha moment. And it's been kind of like a hard thing to admit to myself because I don't want to admit it. But I feel like I have dated a narcissist before. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. It's just I have been seeing direct parallels to their behavior and how I felt. It's just like I don't like to admit it to myself. Like, I don't like to say that I was emotionally abused, but to a certain point, I truly believe, and we'll talk about this in the episode, that I've been addicted to someone due to the nature of like narcissistic behavior, if that makes any sense. It's just like chemically, you can chemically become addicted to somebody through chasing like that validation, and it's called apparently bread-crumbing, where they'll like give it to you in spurts, and it'll like keep you fed long enough to keep you on the hook, and then it literally is an addiction.
Yeah, I mean, we've like we've talked about before, we both go through life experiences, especially with relationships, but either correlating the same or like at different times. And same, like I have, this person is everything but diagnosed. And I didn't know what was going on, but I mean, love bombing, we learned, is so huge in narcissists. They just like love bomb you, and they're just like,
they feed you, they give you all of this attention, all of this validation. It's like this picture perfect world that you make future plans. Everything seems so perfect, and then all of a sudden it's taken away. Yeah. And it leaves you being like, wait, what happened?
And it leaves you with that addicting feeling.
It leaves you with being like, oh, let me fix something within myself. Maybe I did something. Maybe I didn't say something. Maybe I didn't do enough. Let me fix something so I can get that validation, because it was there. It's possible. I know it's there. So let me try and get it back to that point. And it's just like, it's a vicious fucking cycle.
Yeah, because you just feel like, wait, what did I do wrong? Like, what about me? Like this, and this, when they gave you so much, and then they just take it away. Yeah. And then it is emotional abuse in a way, because it's just like, it makes you feel like shit, and it's awful. But I will say, going through that experience with that person, I'm so thankful because I learned a lot. And I'm not gonna wish this on anybody, but I do think everyone should date us. Like, I hope you come out of this, but like, I think dating a narcissist is beneficial. You learn a lot about yourself and what to not and what to expect from people, I guess. Like,
but what if you didn't know that they were a narcissist? Because I didn't. This is somebody from my past, and what if you didn't like?
I think you come out of it knowing. I don't think a lot of people. I mean, right?
I don't know.
Do people end up like?
I mean, because you can be in like. Even for Lee, for example, he was with his wife for years, and she said it like 5 years or something in for the first time.
Said. Remember, she said it within 2 months. She said she was like she had mentioned it so early on, and he's like no, and then she mentioned it right. We'll have to watch the interview again. Oh my God. But yeah, no, I mean,
but some people just don't know, and like that's the thing. Like narcissists can tend to be attracted to very strong, independent people of high status because it only adds to their status. It makes them look better. But narcissists can also be magnets to very empathetic or weaker people because they're easier to manipulate or control or get what they want. Yeah. We talk about how narcissists are obsessed with control. And I think like the thing is like, I think people like to use that term narcissist as an insult nowadays. And I really don't like that because it's an actual thing that people have, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like it just is what it is. And we talk about this, that I just have a lot of I'm an empathetic person. My fucking sweatshirt says empathy. And I just see beyond like why the narcissist is doing it. It's because they've formed, something happened in their childhood or somewhere along the line, something traumatic or sad or whatever, for them to protect themselves. This is a protective mechanism, and they just put on all of these layers on their ego, and they behave this way because they don't want to get themselves hurt. They don't want to be vulnerable. They don't like, this is just all to protect that inner child that was once broken. So it doesn't excuse some of the behavior, but like I see,
that's what he was saying too. He's like, I am self-aware, but don't let me like a person can be a self-aware narcissist all day, but don't let them run over you. Don't let them destroy your boundaries.
Like they're still a narcissist.
And so I think that's super key. Like I think when it comes to no, it's not a bad thing that you're a narcissist. But at the same time, how are you treating people? Because that's where it's bad. Yeah. And that I don't have it's hard for me to have empathy for someone that is hurting people. Even if you're aware or not, I don't know. It's hard because you're hurting people and you're ruining lives and stuff. So I understand it's hard. I mean, that's why there is so much negativity associated with narcissism.
This is where we're different because I'm a little softy and I'll let people walk on me, and Stephanie's like,
you don't.
Okay, but I also do. Like I kind of cower down when it comes to, and this is something that I've been practicing, is trying to step into my power and say how I really feel, because I just kind of let people, I just put other people before myself, and I let people have what they want before I let myself have what I want. You know, and so Stephanie, you're just the outspoken one. You're like, no, this is how I feel. This is what's gonna happen. X, Y, and Z. And so this is where we're different. Because I'm like, oh my God, I feel so bad.
Well, I think it's good to feel.
And then you're like, no, motherfucker, you're hurting people.
I think it's good to have a good amount of both. Like you can have the empathy and be like, I understand that you're struggling and this isn't an easy thing for you, but also, you're hurting people, you're hurting me, and if you don't get help, that's why I do have respect for Lee, because I do have empathy because he works every single day to like he said in the interview, he said it is a battle every day with myself. And so the narcissists that I know, I love and care for, but I'm like,
you know your boundaries.
And I have a million boundaries up, and that person will never actually have me in any way, shape, or form. They'll never really have me, and that's how I can protect myself.
So, you do have to learn to and especially like if you're dating a narcissist, you have to like admit it to yourself. And I've just been, I feel like just learning about it just so you can like understand like what is actually going on. It's like putting tools in your toolbox to like understand the situation and how to handle it moving forward.
I think that everyone needs to be such a higher education on mental health. Like we need to be all learning like what actual narcissism is, like what's a sociopath, like what is this, what is that, because people are throwing these words around. Like someone called me a sociopath years ago, and I'm like, I'm the most emotional person and sensitive person that I know. And like, it's just it's all because we had a disagreement and like we fought and I didn't like her. And so she called me a sociopath, and I'm like, bitch, I just don't like you. That's different. Like, it's not, you can't just be throwing these words around, because those words fuck with people. And it makes them think like a couple times I'm like, wait, am I?
Oh, I mean,
you know?
Oh my God, this summer when I was not when I mentally wasn't in a good spot, if I'm being like completely honest, like this summer was so hard. The relationship I was in, it was just fucking terrible. Like every week there was something going on. I felt like shit about myself. And this is also when Celeste Barber, this very popular comedian, came out and kind of like made fun of one of my videos. And that's kind of just her sense of comedy. She took one of my videos trying on swimsuits and like did a parody of it. And it was funny. I laughed at the video, but the fucking comments were so fucking mean, and my mental health wasn't in a good spot at the time, and these women in the comments were just being so ugly and accusing me of being a narcissist. And
oh my God, I know
that fucked with me so hard, because I mean, I just had to take a step back, and I was like struggling with like, why the fuck am I on social media? What am I doing? Like, am I like a narcissist? Like, what the fuck? And it fucked with me hard. And I remember going to therapy, and I like really struggling with this. And she was like, well, what is something that you like about yourself? And I was like, I think I'm a really giving person. Like, I really find joy in giving to people. And she was like, I'm gonna stop you right there. She was like, giving like is the exact opposite of narcissist, like narcissistic personality disorder.
It blows my mind that anyone could ever classify you as a narcissist.
I mean, those were
I know. That's why I'm saying,
yeah.
like, that's why I'm saying, like, it is so important. Like, those are uneducated. That I would never go online and just call somebody a narcissist. So it's obviously like an ignorant like, you know what I mean?
How can people on the internet so easily throw around mental health disorders or personality disorders just to throw an insult?
Even when my friends are describing themselves, they're like, yeah, I think I'm bipolar. I'm like, I'm gonna stop you right there. Because no, you're not.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to think on that. Like, it's just stop. Like, I just feel like put that in school, like, where we're actually learning about mental health, so we can stop using it as a weapon towards other people, because that's fucking with people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got to really, like, even talking to Lee today, just seeing how
his brain functions.
Yeah, his brain functions. I was like, oh my God. Like, it's just... It is also really not validating, but confirming to see him talk about himself. And I was just like, this is exactly. Yeah. So it was a heavier episode, because it won with the connection, and it's a heavy topic. Narcissism isn't a positive thing usually. I mean, it is to learn about.
We talk about that, like, a lot of people see it as a demonizing thing, and it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't excuse the behavior, but it's not. Narcissists aren't fucking demons.
No,
like that's
but
how,
it is
like,
great.
That's how you start dating a narcissist. Like, they're not demons. There's like great qualities about them. Like, they're
usually really driven.
They're charming.
Yeah, they're charming.
They're fucking charming.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So I want to read the definition of what I found on the internet of narcissistic personality disorder. It is a disorder in which a person has an inflated sense of self. NPD is more commonly found in men. The cause is unknown, but likely involves a combination of genetic and environmental factors. Symptoms include an excessive need for admiration, disregard for others' feelings, an inability to handle any criticism, a sense of entitlement. The disorder needs to be diagnosed by a professional, and treatment involves talk therapy. Treatment can help, but this condition cannot be cured.
And this is what was interesting to me, because it is such an ego-driven disorder. And I was just, whenever we asked him, like, you know, do you has psychedelics or anything like ever, he was just like, no.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That would be so scary to me. And I was like, but that's how you are open with your therapist.
I think he's just protecting himself. They protect themselves.
Yeah, but I do kind of want to do some research and dive in on self-aware narcissists that have done that.
Yeah, because
I can't think of any other way to open your mind more than that.
Yeah, psychedelics really put you in front of your fucking ego, and it's just like, and what are you doing?
And now that makes sense as to why a self-aware narcissist wouldn't do that.
Scared of
that's
it.
Scary.
That is scary. That is like facing yourself. I want to look into that.
Yeah.
I want to read some signs and symptoms of narcissism as well, if any of you are curious. Preoccupied with fantasies about beauty, brilliance, success, and power. Unable to handle criticism. Tendency to lash out if they feel slighted. Likely to take advantage of others to get what they want. Overly concerned about their appearance. Expectation of being treated as superior. Lack of empathy for others. Inflated sense of self and inability to self-regulate, having no remorse for hurting others and no interest in apologizing unless it benefits them, having an attitude of deserving the best of everything, tendency to monopolize conversations and or mistreat those who they perceive as inferior, hidden insecurity and weak sense of self, tendency to blame others for their own bad behavior. That's what I see about narcissism. They have this inflated like ego, think they're like top of the world, hot shit. But I'm like, you're actually a very insecure person.
Yeah.
If you need to fluff your feathers that much and have all of this status and all of this material fucking bullshit, you're an insecure person.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the whole ego thing. Like it's that protective mechanism. And those people, I wonder. Yeah, I'm like, can you sit in a room and just like, I mean, yeah, I would be so curious as to the mind of a narcissist on psychedelics. Much.
This also says that they have a fragile sense of self, which I believe true. That's why they can't handle criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The interview, we could say so much on this intro, but the interview is really good. We're curious as to what you all think about it, because it was a new avenue for us to kind of dive in. Our first kind of, more so like mental health kind of topic, and to learn more about mental health.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are curious about narcissism because that word is so overused now. But also like maybe you may or may not have been with one or been in contact with one. You probably know one.
Yeah. I mean, how common is it?
I think it's like 1% of the population. I forget. I saw something.
Or is that 1% that's actually like diagnosed?
I don't know. But It ends up, when you think about it, it's a small percentage. But like when you put it into numbers perspective, you're like, oh, it's actually still a lot of fucking people. So you probably do know someone or have been in contact with someone.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I mean, we've had our share of what we think. If it's not narcissist, they fall in the same line.
Dude, it's like,
it's almost spot on. But it was really a life-changing experience for me, just because I got thicker skin from it. I got smarter from it.
You had to like question your worth. You had to be like, this isn't what I need. This isn't what I want.
Yeah, no. When this person's behavior started affecting my thought process on myself and my work, that's when I was like, absolutely fucking not. Like, no, we're not doing this. I love me, so I'm not gonna let that. That's when you should never be with somebody that makes you question your worth. You should always be with someone that betters you and like wants to push you to go forward and to do all these things. But when you're questioning if you're good enough, like, what the fuck is that? Like, no. And that's a common thing.
I mean, I think in both of our circumstances, we never, or I, speaking for myself, felt like a priority. And I'm not saying I don't want to be your fucking top priority. Like, I need you to have ambitions, goals, like values. But I'm just saying, like,
emotionally a priority like, too is important.
Like, just to have some like prioritization and
like
bombing. To have like just have some reliability.
Yeah.
You know?
Usually not a reliable characteristic. Yeah, like the whole love bombing and then just, wow, this and this, you were this and this, and like I've been waiting like this and
building
this.
this fantasy.
This fantasy land. And then it's just like, poof.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? I've never experienced love bombing before, and it is, now I see it, and when I see it again, I'm gonna be like, get the fuck away from me.
It's also a thing, they'll go poof, and then once you try and be like, all right, I'm done with this, I'm taking my happy ass and I'm going away, they don't like that.
Yeah.
And they'll come right back and love bomb you again. Just as they know when you're ready to walk away. They'll come back because they want control. They need that validation from you. They will keep you in their grasp because it's a control. They want that validation. They want to be normal in love. But like,
it's weird.
What?
It's weird. And there are two different types of narcissists. There's covert and malignant, right? We've experienced both. And yeah, it's interesting. This whole interview is got me fired up. I'm like, these feelings are back. I'm mad. God,
I don't deserve
toss
this.
the table. I don't deserve this. Woo,
right.
okay.
Well, this is a good episode. I think y'all will enjoy it.
Yeah, so
Without further ado,
here we go.
woo! Welcome back, guys.
Welcome to Back There, Here We Go podcast.
Today we have Lee Hammock on, who is a self-aware narcissist. Lee, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Well, my name is Lee Hammock. I am known as Mental Illness on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and all that other good stuff. I am diagnosed with Narcissistic Personality Disorder. It is my cross to bear.
Wow.
and wield, you know. I'm 35 years old. I'm from North Carolina, of course. That's why you hear the southern drawl.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm from North Carolina. I'm a real estate agent. I do a lot of stuff. My main thing is real estate though. So.
Oh, sick. That's all. That's a good industry to be in.
Yeah. When did you get diagnosed with NPD?
2017.
Okay. What were the events going on in your life for you to go get diagnosed?
A little bit of everything. You know, it's just because a lot of stress had built up because like I'm super erratic. You know, I have a wife and kids and stuff like that, and I was like, you know what, I'm tired of working, so I'm gonna quit my full-time job and do real estate. You know.
Yeah.
You know, real estate is commission. It's 100% commission based and stuff like that. So there's no guaranteed income and all the other stuff. So money problems, marriage problems with the kids and stuff like that. Everything kind of is one cohesive ball of like stress and terrible living situations. You know, and it all kind of boiled over one night. Boiled over. It kind of boiled over one night where me and my wife had went to work or something like that, and my infant son was like getting on my nerves. Like I'm just wanting to work and make calls. He's like, and I'm just screaming and yelling at my son, and my wife just happens to come home early from work. You know how the story goes. Like come home early from work, and you sneak up on something. It wasn't cheating. It was just me yelling at my son, and then she came in yelling, and I'm yelling at her. And then I was like, it's so hard to live with somebody who doesn't support you and care about you and stuff like that. And she's like, well, it's so damn hard to live with a narcissist. I'm like, a what? I'm like, you're a narcissist. You mean, because in 2017, I guess, I'm still thinking in my head that narcissist is just like a term of like for cocky people, for conceited people and things like that. You know? So she left. And I'm super inquisitive. So I'm just like, there's a specific reason why she called me that word. There's so many different words you can call a black man that hurt his feelings. There's not the N word I was looking for. You know what I mean? So she called me something else.
Yeah.
So I got really, really specific and looked that up. And Google like autofill stuff. So I'm typing in Google narcissist. Like, why she called me this? And the whole personality disorder thing came up. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
And you click on it. And me reading all the articles and stuff and seeing how evil I was and all this stuff, I was just like, to get her back, I was like, look, I will go to therapy just come home and, just
Yeah.
come to me. I'll go to therapy and we'll see how this thing goes. And a few months later, go to therapy and here we are now.
Yeah.
Wow. So
3.5 years later.
she was the one that brought it to your attention that you were this way.
Yeah. I mean, I've always known I was like, something's going on in your head. I've always known something like I was kind of like, different. But I just thought it was like, I'm just unique. Kind of like I'm just special.
Yeah.
So that's what I just thought it was. I didn't think of any kind of like mental health issue. I just thought I was different. I was just like, well, everybody's not the same, so maybe I'm just a little different than everybody else. Because I used to always be curious as to why people are so happy in situations. Like, why people so happy? Why people are so sad? Like, how do you love people like this? Like, I want to be in a relationship like this so much. Like you see these little movies and stuff like that where people like fall in love. Like, why do you love this person? I was just like, I'm just curious. I'm like I said, I'm super inquisitive. So I've always known I was different, but not to that point, not to the extreme, this extreme. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How long had y'all been together, and for how long did she feel as if you were a narcissist? Is that something that y'all have discussed before she brought it to your attention?
That was the first time she called me. That was the first time she brought it to my attention.
Okay.
But like I guess. We've been together since 2000. Don't hold this against me. 2011. The end of 2011. Yeah. Okay. So almost 10 years.
How was that like finding out? Like, how did you take that?
Like I said, because I was super inquisitive, and the only source of information for me was Google.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you can ask anybody, like, hey, am I a narcissist? Well, yeah, kind of. It wasn't I guess it wasn't that serious back then. I did ask one of my friends on Twitter. I was like, do you think I'm a narcissist? And I'm expecting to hear no. But she's like, yeah. I was like, oh, shit, really?
Damn.
Oh, wow. I mean, how did you feel when you found out? Like, were you upset about it?
It's kind of demoralizing. You know what I mean? Because you don't want anything to be wrong with you. You know? Especially like you having because narcissism is associated with so much negativity.
Yeah,
like there's no positive material on narcissists. There's like zero positive literature on narcissists. So everything you get online and read is going to be negative. So I'm like, well, am I really evil? It's just like just people just like it's demonizing. My real name is Damon, so it kind of flows with my name. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
It's spelled demon with like an extra D on the end of it, so it kind of flows.
Oh god.
I mean? But like I said, nobody wants to be evil and stuff like that, so it's kind of demoralizing. I in my head, in my brain, I've always envisioned myself as this super ambitious, super motivational guy.
Yeah.
And, but like I said, I've always felt like I was different. Like how you'll be on Facebook and Facebook had that little timeline or whatever. It comes up like 6 years ago. You posted this. I was posting some crazy stuff 6 years ago. I was like, what?
Yeah. Same.
Wow. I was like, that was me writing that.
What are
that's one of the things.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Well, what were some like specific things that your wife mentioned that you did that made her call you that?
The simple fact that like she couldn't be herself around me, and I noticed that stuff too. I was like, she's a total like before all this, like she's a totally different person around groups of people than she is with me at home, and like that kind of annoyed me. I was just like, why are you like this? Like, why can't you be this fun, happy person at home? But like, we get home, I get the negative Nancy. I get we always arguing and stuff like that. Why can't I get this at home? Like, we go out to have fun, but when we get home, it's like, like the energy, like woo, like so you go to the door, like woo.
Oh wow!
Like the whole world is in color, but my house specifically was in black and white. You know what I mean? Literally, because she's a white woman.
Wow. Wow, that's so interesting.
It's so okay. So you mentioned that there are like a lot of there's so much negativity attached to the word narcissist. Yeah. And I mean, I feel like that word is thrown around so much in today's culture. Like, I feel like there's so many people, especially on social media, because this is the age we live in. It's like, oh my God, you're a narcissist, you're a narcissist, you're a narcissist. And like this past year, I've seen so much of that on the internet. I'm just like, y'all need, like, I don't like when people do that, you know, like, because like it's not something like, especially like when I'm like, you're not educated or certified to call someone that, like, don't.
It's
do
like when
that.
people call someone a sociopath, and it's like, what degree do you have to call somebody that?
Right.
Like, why are you? Yeah.
Because it's not a bad thing. Like, I'm talking to you, and I'm so inspired by like your videos, and I'm so appreciative because I found you on TikTok, and every video almost like struck a chord with me, and I'm like, this isn't a bad thing. It just is what it is. So like, what do you think caused this? Was it genetic or was it environmental? Is that something that you've like learned through it or talked through in therapy?
Yeah. So generally you see online that like people ask, I get that question a lot. People are like, is it nature or is it nurture? I think I've come to think that it's a little bit of, it's more nurture than nature. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Most narcissists are created through some kind of trauma in your life that makes you super defensive and super controlling of your own personal self. And my therapist has said that repeatedly. You know, the more I've been on TikTok and Instagram, and the more, you know, out there I've been with myself, the more open I've been with my therapist. Because I was on a podcast last week, and she asked me, she was like, hey, have you ever been 100% honest with anybody? I was like, no. You know what I mean? It's she's like, not even with your therapist? I was like, no, not really. And she's like, but you see what I'm going here? I'm like, damn, you're right, you know?
Wow.
So the more open I get with my therapist, the more information I can kind of, you know, get. And she said, she's like, I can't, like me, myself, I can't take it personally how I've turned out, because this is how I protected myself as a kid. I mean, this is how I protected myself growing up. This is my own built-in defense mechanism. You know what I mean? Where other people reach out and be loving and caring and hugging and stuff like that, I'm just kind of get back, you know. And she kind of went over that, and it made a lot of sense with me. But like I said, so that led to, that's why I say it's probably 90% nurture and then 10% nature as well. It could be a little bit hereditary, but I'm not a scientist, not a psychologist or therapist, but like, this is my take on it, because my personality disorder was caused by abandonment issues and things like that concerning my dad. You know what I mean? He wasn't in my life or whatever. I mean, he didn't abandon us. You know, he just wasn't like a hands-on dad. You know what I mean? He just wasn't there. Like, we needed him. No sporting events, no nothing. Like, we saw him when he lived with my grandma. So, I mean, for the longest. So, just like, the only time we saw you was when we went to my grandma's house. We didn't go to dad's house. We went to grandma's house, and dad lived there. As an adult, I think it's kind of pathetic, but yeah. But so growing up, you know, he just wasn't there for me. You know, no matter what I did to try to impress him, it wasn't enough, and it annoyed me. So here comes the barrier going up. You know, and like, nobody else will be able to hurt me like he hurts me. So here I am now because of that. You know, because of holding in and not talking about 30 something plus years of resentment and hatred towards one individual. But I started kind of researching a little bit into my past. I was like, he is a terrible father. What was his dad like? You know what I mean? 'Cause I never met him. You know, I never knew. I guess he died. My paternal grandfather died when my dad was 8, 9 years old, something like that. And I didn't know that. You know, I thought he just abandoned his family. So I got really, really curious and got on, you know, Ancestry.com. That's like, you know. I'm just on Ancestry.com one night. I got the free 30-day trial. I can't pay that. I can get it done in 30. I can get it done in 30 days. So I got on there, put in his name, put in my grandma's name and stuff like that, and then his dad's name came up. I was like, yay, his name. At least I have his name. You know what I mean? I didn't know my grandpa's name. So his name. You know, have y'all been on Ancestry.com before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so it gives you like hints. You can click the hint to kind of see if it's connected to that person's name. Okay. So I clicked the hint. It was like a death certificate. You know what I mean? So I click on the death certificate. I was like, oh, it's a death certificate. Okay, cool. I see my grandma's name or whatever. I see the time of death. I see the date. And then I was like, damn, he really, so he is dead. He didn't abandon him. So I kind of got relieved. So he didn't, he kind of abandoned him, but he didn't do it intentionally.
Yeah.
Or did he? The cause of death, small caliber gunshot wound to the head. So he decided to get up 5:30 one morning before work on Monday morning, and go shoot himself in the bathroom while his wife and kids are in their sleep. So
your grandpa?
You know, my grandpa, yeah.
Wow.
So
While his wife and kids were in their sleep.
So I guess, I mean, in a way, like with the narcissism and the genetic part, do you believe your dad and then your grandfather may have been them?
I think my grandfather might have had some kind of mental illness, and it caused him to clearly go in there and shoot himself in the head in the bathroom. Like, I ain't going to work today. Boom, Instead of calling in, he shot himself in the head. So he went in and shot himself in the head, and that could have been a contributing factor to my dad not being a dad, not being hands-on, not being in my life, and that caused me to become. So it's not hereditary necessarily, but it has, like, there's a trickle-down effect from grandpa to dad to grandson, me,
That's so cool that you took the time to look that up and kind of get a great understanding of what could be going on here.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting, like, how the brain is just so complex, and it does these things to protect yourself, and like over time your ego gets thicker and thicker, and it's just a protective mechanism.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what the personality disorder is. It's like a protective mechanism that kicks in against stupid stuff. Like, it's really trivial. Now that I'm aware, I can see how trivial it is. Like the trivial stuff still bothers me, but therapy has helped me get to the point where I don't brush it off, but I like, does this make sense to be mad at?
Yeah. Well,
it doesn't make sense to be mad at.
By definition, or your definition, what is a good definition for narcissistic personality disorder?
So I guess the definition that most people will use is like a soulless human, a robotic meat sack running around here hurting.
No.
That's the definition I've seen online so much. You know what I mean? But more likely, it's just a damaged individual that doesn't know how to regulate their own emotions. So they try to regulate other people's, and they end up hurting other people because I can't regulate my own stuff. I want to regulate yours. Yeah. In any way, shape, or form. So it just comes off. Most of the time, it comes off terribly. In the beginning, it comes off good because you're feeling good. It's the love bombing. You feel good. You feel great.
But we're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
And then in the end, it's like the love bombing kind of get boring. Let me see if I can push these buttons to get her to do different stuff.
Yeah. Would you say narcissists would you say narcissists love control, and is that also like a protective mechanism?
I would say that's the root of it. You know what I mean? Because I could not control how I was raised and the situations that I grew up in. I want to control my environment now as much as possible. Yeah. I want to control my image. I want to control my, the way I'm viewed. I want to control my finances. I want to control my kids. You know what I mean? My wife. You want to control everybody. You want to control like literally everything that I can touch and reach. I want to have some semblance of control of it because I couldn't control everything else, I couldn't control my youth or childhood, let me control everything else now because I'm a big, strong man, Yeah. So I'm going to control everything else around me now.
This is why I just have like a lot of empathy for like narcissists, just because I know that it's just a protective mechanism, and I'm like, I feel for them. It sucks that sometimes I get hurt by them because Stephanie and I both have had, given they're not diagnosed, but we've had, especially like during this time period where I've been learning so much about NPD, I definitely feel just shocked at the parallels that I'm learning about what that behavior looks like. And so I feel like both of us are pretty empathetic people. I just have a lot of empathy, even though like, I need to put my boundaries up. I'm like, damn, like I just see past it.
Yeah. I definitely have empathy, but I also am just like,
but see, that's how I would recommend you feel, because like one of the questions I get a lot is like, do you think narcissists deserve love and care from people? I'll say yes, they do, but they don't necessarily deserve it from you if they're hurting you.
Yeah, that's
you can have empathy, but like you can have empathy, but set your boundaries and protect your own inner peace.
That's what we've been doing too. Yeah.
Don't lose yourself trying to heal somebody else, and that's what people do so much. Like, how can I fix him? How can I fix her? I'm like, you can't. Like, that's beyond most people's scope of power to fix and to try to fix somebody, to heal them. You know what I mean? they have to want it. You can't want it more for somebody than they want it for themselves, and that's what gets people caught up because you being super empathetic, so you care so much, and then you get ready to leave me. You like, look, I'm done. I'm like, look, baby, please, like, look, you know what happened to me, like, please, like, everybody leaves me in my life, and that's how I am. And then you start feeling worse again. You're like, okay, I'll stay, hug me, or I go to the other extent. Like, I don't want to be alive anymore if you're gonna leave me. And you don't want that on your conscience, so you stay 5-10 more years of unhappiness.
Yeah, so, just like very extremes. Yeah. What was I about to ask?
I want to know what the signs and symptoms of narcissism is. Like what are ways that what are just common signs and symptoms of narcissism?
So I don't even know anymore. I just think so definitely the ego is the biggest thing. Huge ego. Cannot take criticism at all. Like, there's no such thing as criticism. Constructive criticism, anything. Like, hey, look, you're doing great, but if you could do it this way, like, no. All I hear was but.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's not great if it's followed by a but. You know what I mean? So, no ego. Like, it's the low empathy thing. That's big. That's one of the questions I get a lot. People think you can't feel empathy as a narcissist, but you can have empathy. You know what I mean? I care for, I can care and empathize with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
But, sometimes sometimes I don't. I'm just like, yikes. So, and then that's one of the big things because, like, I'm part of, like, some more self-aware narcissist groups now.
Okay, good.
So I'm part of some more self-aware narcissist groups now, and people see the other self-aware narcissists see my videos. Of course, some of them don't like them; they just kind of bypass them. But some of them love them. They're like, "Yay, somebody this self-aware and just kind of put narcissism in the forefront." You know what I mean? And it's just like we can tell that you are just being real with people, and you don't necessarily have to pretend to empathize with them. Because, like, a lot of times I'm giving advice, I'm not necessarily feeling sorry for the person I'm giving advice for. I'm just based in logic, so I can kind of see through what they're saying. Like, your feelings might be hurt right now. I'm just like, okay, why are your feelings hurt? What hurt your feelings? And people tell you, like, generally people tell you what's going on with them. Like, they tell you what they need to hear. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I can tell you exactly what you need to hear right now to make you feel better in this situation. Because, like, I do care. I don't like seeing people sad or whatever. And it's one of my weaknesses is seeing people cry. So I don't like seeing people cry. So it kind of gets on my nerves. Like, get away from you.
Yeah.
But overall, like I said, I think. So what was another symptom? I kind of got started babbling.
It's okay.
Like I said, just the overall stuff, like the conceitedness. I don't know, like.
What are some common like thoughts that you have that you have been told aren't normal, I guess, like, or the way you respond to people? Has anyone ever, like, called you out for how you've thought or said things? People
call me out all the time with the way I say stuff.
Oh,
and,
okay.
but it's kind of weird because I think people automatically put their defenses up when they see my page. Like, oh, he's a self-aware narcissist, so they automatically assume that I can't do certain things. So when I give a very logical explanation, they'll combat it with, like, he's gaslighting. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
So I think the majority of people don't know what gaslighting is. Like, I'll be giving a good, solid. I'll post something. I'm like, damn, that was good. That was a great post. I feel good about it. They're like, why are you trying to gaslight everybody? Like, how? Like, do you know gaslighting?
A lot of people don't really understand what that even means.
They really, really don't know what gaslighting is.
They just like to say it.
Yeah, they do.
Like, you're gaslighting.
Yeah.
Hey guys, remember, he's a narcissist. He doesn't really understand feelings, so he can't really tell you about love. I'm like, huh? Yes, I actually do. Like, stop it.
Is being a self-aware narcissist common? Like, because I mean, you're the only person that I know that is a narcissist who claims they are a narcissist and is so open about it. Like, is that rare? Because you said that you're in groups, Facebook groups. Yeah.
So I thought it was super rare. You know what I mean? Because I want to be special. I'm a narcissist. I like to be special. I want to be one of. You know what I mean? Like, there's 7-8 billion people on the planet. I want to be one of 8 billion. I like that. It's like, you're, like you said, you're the only one. I'm like, Tell me more.
That feels
good. Tell me more. What else am I the only one of? You know.
Yeah.
No, but there are like big groups of self-aware people out there. They just don't like. Narcissism is so frowned upon that they don't want to just be open about it. They're just like, well, if I come out, people won't receive me like they receive you, because because I've been so calculated with this thing. I've been talking mental health for years, but it never took off until I got on TikTok.
Yeah.
I would talk on my Facebook page, but nobody cares. Like your friends don't care. Like, hey guys, I got diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. I just want to be open. 3 likes. Like, well, nobody really cared,
Yeah.
But now that it's picking up a little bit, they're like, damn, you're doing the thing, man. I'm so proud of you. I'm like, I go back to that 3 likes post. I'm like,
where were you then?
I have the same amount of friends on here, but this post has 100 likes. We only had 3. You're like, okay,
Has communicating with other narcissists and kind of sharing your stories or whatever you may share been helpful for this journey of yours?
Yeah, because so when I first, me and my wife first got into that little spiel, I didn't know what to turn to other than therapy. Therapy expensive, so once a month, once a month, if that, like once or 2 months, where do you go between these sessions? Like, what do you do between these sessions? So I went to, I got on Facebook and I just put it in the search bar. I mean, you just started doing this because it's a buzzword. I'm like, I've been doing this in 2017. Like, here's the proof, here's the messages. Like, I've been on this journey for a long time. It's just like, nobody picked up on it until I posted my first video on my TikTok. I was like, hey guys, my name is Damon, and I do have a mental illness. It's called Narcissistic Personality Disorder, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm like, and it took so much nerves to post that video.
Yeah.
And I did that May 19th of last year. I posted that video, and people immediately started saying, you're just trying to do this for clout. But I had a backup plan already. I had already had my other TikTok. My other TikTok was already. It wasn't huge, but 100,000 people on there. I was like, I don't need this TikTok. I have my other page. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But now my mental health page is 50,000 more people, so I can't say that anymore. It's like, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like now people are just so appreciative that you're talking about it.
Yeah, it's opening a lot of eyes, and it's really empowering to people that, for example, have dated narcissists or just know how to kind of understand the mind of a narcissist. Is your therapist specialized in NPD? Is she a therapist specifically for this?
So when I first started searching for therapists, I don't know how to I don't know how to find a therapist. Baby, come home, I'll go to therapy. How do I go to therapy? Do I just walk down the street and there's a little therapist office? I just go plop in the chair and talk to them. No, there's steps. So I had to, I got on Google again. Google is your friend, I got on Google and I just put in Narcissistic Personality Disorder Therapist around me, and the website Psychology Today came up. So I got on there, and you can kind of filter by specialties. I was like, Narcissistic Personality Disorder. Because this is before I even got diagnosed. I just knew I had it. I was like, you take the little narcissist test online. Like, if you get above if 20 and above, you might have narcissism. I was getting 36 out of 40. I'm like, something's going on here. So you knew it. So I went on there and found a therapist and just sent an email, a heartfelt email, hey, my name is Damon. I need help. I'm losing my family. My life is falling apart. I think I have narcissistic personality disorder. You get emails back or whatever. And there you go. You just go into the therapy session and sit down and just I was drinking. I remember my first therapy. I was drinking before my first therapy session. I was so nervous. My hands were shaking. I was what do you do? I'm in the car
When it comes to treatment, and I don't even know if there is any, do they just recommend just talking about it, or is there a specific treatment? Have they also is there recommended have you ever dived in I don't know if I could ask we kind of talk about psychedelics on this show.
I knew he was going.
Yeah. Have you tried psychotherapy? Is that what it's called?
That's what I do. I do psychotherapy, but there's different forms of therapy that you can go to. I think DBT and some other stuff. My receipt says psychotherapy. That's what I go for. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And it's really just talk therapy. You do little exercises and stuff like that, and you like I said, you have to be honest with people. Mm-hmm. Like when I was partially honest, and I still got diagnosed. Like I haven't been honest. Like, am I deeper? Am I darker than a narcissist? Like I wasn't even 100% honest. Like I'm a narcissist, you know. So I started being more honest with her. And now she tells some. She said, "Well, I read body language. I read so many body language books. I can see her kind of shift. She's like, that's interesting." I'm like, what was that about? She's like, well, it's the stuff you're saying now kind of sounds like some sociopathic thoughts and traits as well. I'm like, what? No, like I'm just a narcissist. I don't be a sociopath. Like, let me just be a narcissist. Like I'm already hated for what I am anyway. Let me be a normal narcissist. Don't let me be a sociopath.
Would you say that narcissists are naturally more intuitive or smart? I just feel like there's like a theme where you guys are just like so smart and you know how to like pick up on things like that.
I think it really just depends on the person. You mean because a lot of the traits kind of manifest themselves, and a lot of the traits manifest themselves the same way. But like everybody's gonna be different. You get some dumb narcissists that say dumb stuff, that get caught up doing dumb stuff, and somehow weasel their way out of the situation. You know, or you get somebody that's really logical and analytical like me that makes your mind think. You're like, wait, he could be right. You know, like. And my gaslighting is going to be way more effective than somebody with a 8th grade reading levels gaslighting. Okay. Because I've had experience in life or whatever, you know, so I can like, let me lead you down this rabbit hole to see where I can go, you know, which is funny, but because I've been doing it so long, it's kind of like second nature now, you know, but like gaslighting doesn't work. Like I said, every narcissist, like you get some stupid, there's some dumb narcissists out here, like some really dumb ones, you know. So the smart ones, I like to consider myself a smart one. You know? People base the personality disorder on us and not the dumb ones. You know, because it's embarrassing if you get tricked by a dumb person. You're like, he's stupid. Like how did he trick me? You know, like I have a doctorate. He's like, you know, he got a GED. I stayed with him for 30 years. You know, you beat yourself up over stuff like that. You know what I mean? But the mind is it's a soft, mushy muscle, you know?
Yeah. Have you seen improvement in your behavioral patterns, or have you just seen improvement through therapy?
Yeah, I would say yes. I feel like just being in therapy and talking about the stuff that I've been through and the stuff that I do, you kind of like, I would say the main thing I've learned in therapy is like trigger control, like behavior control. Like I can stop. I can see the stuff that triggers me, and I can kind of put a stop to their reaction before it gets bad. You know, I still have rage fest. I just don't. You know, it's not as bad as it used to be. Like my wife will attest to that because she said it the other day. She's like, because she went live on my Instagram the other day and answered a bunch of questions from people. And she said, I haven't raged out in about a year, but like the one rage little fest I got into was pretty bad. You know.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as bad as the old ones. Like this is one that's just like, because like this is one thing that therapy has taught me. Like when I rage out, the stuff that I say when I'm raging out could have been prevented if I would have just said some stuff earlier. You know, like I was like the last time I raged out, I was like literally downstairs in my son's room, put this TV up on the wall. Like this is a good day. My kids are here. You know what I mean? My wife's upstairs. My pregnant wife's upstairs. Like just a good day. And they were running around downstairs. Like, hey guys, stop running around. You're gonna break something. All right, Dad, we're gonna stop running around. Literally 15 seconds later, bling! It was just like I couldn't control it. Then I was like, see, when they were running around and they hit something, I said, "Look, guys, you're gonna break something. Just chill." That's me right there. I'm like, look, I gave you the chance to just not avoid this. Bling! I couldn't control it. You know, I couldn't control it. But like, you get into those rages, but the rage sometimes it just feels good. You you feel like you in control.
Yeah.
My therapist said like, you feel like when I was screaming, like, she's like, what exactly were you saying when you were screaming at them? I was like, nobody listens to me in this damn house. Nobody appreciates what I do. Nobody appreciates anything I do. She's like, I bet you felt appreciated when you were screaming, didn't you? Damn, I did, didn't I? You know, they were listening then. They were listening to you then. What they were like, Yeah, I had all ears on deck.
Wow.
Everybody was listening, you know. But she's like, there's steps you can take to stop till it won't happen again, you know. So I see the stuff happening again. I'm like, look, sons, don't break my $50. You know, you got a lighting kit. These lights are not. The light bulb costs $50. I'm like, don't break my $50 light bulb, sons.
Yeah,
please.
Can you explain the difference between a malignant narcissist? How many types of narcissists are there? There's malignant, covert, overt. Like, what are?
I've been learning so much more. Like I said, I've been like when people say I teach them, I'm learning too. You know?
Okay.
So the only type I know about, I know there's more subtypes and stuff like that. Is like covert and malignant. That's the only thing. That's the only differentiation I know about right now. You know? And I would say covert people are more like just quiet and unassuming. The covert people and malignant people, you know the malignant narcissists in your life. You know them. Like one of my best friends is a super malignant narcissist, and I love him to death. People like ask yourself in your life, is there anybody in your life that there is no in between? Like people either really hate this person or they really love this person. There's nobody that would there's no, like my friend's name starts with Jay. He might watch this. I'm gonna say Jay. Like, how do you feel about Jay? No, nobody will say like, man, he's okay. No, people will say, man, I love that dude. He's so fun and energetic and happy. Or people will say, no, he is an asshole. I hate him. He needs to die.
Wow,
no, there's no in between.
I can.
Yeah.
So wait, malignant would be the hated.
Yeah, malignant is like outwardly, like you would, that they would be a narcissist.
Yeah. And then covert is the almost like the good person, like that's more scary.
You wouldn't expect them. What would you consider yourself if you?
I'm more covert than anything.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just more covert because I'm so unassuming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even though I'm doing this stuff that I do now, if I did something bad, people would just say, "Hey, he's a narcissist." Like he admits it. I'm like, look how my shield is. I have a shield up now. They're like, and I think other narcissists hate that because they can't be themselves and they get judged. Like if I do something bad, like I get judged so bad, they be like, he can do something bad, and people just say, look,
it's like an excuse.
He's a narcissist. It's a built-in excuse, and that's why I say therapy doesn't help everybody. Therapy sometimes makes people worse and gives them that excuse. Like, hey, if you choose to stay with me, you need to understand that I'm a narcissist, and I'm going to treat you this way. And you choose to stay, and they're like, well, I told you. And now you choose to stay, and I'm going to keep doing the same thing, or it's going to manifest and get itself worse.
Yeah.
Like, because like I said, I think a lot of people choose to go ahead and dive into it and be worse because like they see that there's no cure for this. You know, there's no going back to childhood, and you know, there's no little time portal you can step into and be a better person and raise yourself better. You know, so you have to deal with it.
Well,
and
is that okay? Did you answer yes when you were talking about that you were doing psychedelics for therapy?
Oh no psychedelics. No, it's just therapy. No.
Okay.
So, what would you consider psychedelics? Would you consider edible psychedelics?
No.
We're talking about like mushrooms or LSD.
Stuff that kind of breaks down. Yes, mushrooms or LSD stuff that like breaks down your
ego naturally. I haven't went that deep, and I'm scared to go that deep because like I did edibles one time, and it just like ruined my life. Like it didn't ruin my life, but it was just like a terrible night because like my first time doing edibles, like you know the little gummies. My friend like. I was like, you know, I'm erratic, so I get a thought in my brain. I need to do it. Like, man, I need some damn edibles. Like, where can I get some? He's like, I got some at the house. He's like, I was gonna give them to a friend, but like, and he gave me like a pack of gummies, but they were like, you know, smushed up, so it wasn't like any individual gummies. It was like a sheet.
God,
like a fruit roll up, so to speak. You know?
Yeah. Well, edibles, I believe, are just like can be so intense.
Yeah. With psychedelics, is more used to break down your ego. So we were curious.
Yeah.
I would say after the edibles, I'm scared of psychedelics. Like I don't want to go no deeper than that because like I was like. I'm expecting it to hit immediately.
Oh my God.
It's totally different.
Totally different.
I'm snacking them down. You know what I mean? I'm like, he's like, how much have you eaten? I was like, I probably eaten 3/4 of it. He was like, he called me. He's like, because I called him. I was like, man, you gave me some dud. You know, he's like, he said, how much have you eaten? I said, about 3/4 of the whole pack. He called me. I was like, why are you calling me? He's like, you ate 3/4 of it? I'm like, yeah. He's like, where are you at right now? I was like, I'm at home in the basement. He's like, stay there.
Oh no!
Oh my God.
I started freaking out. You know what I mean? I started freaking out crazy. It was like a terrible night. Like I was like, I just remember trying to go to the store and get some. My mouth was so dry. I was like crawling through my front yard trying to go to the store.
Oh no!
It was a terrible night. I don't want to do that again. You know, I was like, no, not again.
It's interesting because today we talked about there's being studies and tests and therapeutic controlled settings with people using MDMA and having a facilitator walk them through, and it's shown like super beneficial benefits. And we were talking about when doing that, it makes your ego so small, and it allows you to walk with your inner child into these like traumas.
And therapy,
because you're on MDMA, it's like coming from a place of love and light. But your ego is small, and you're facing your biggest fears and traumas in a good way. It's not like dark and scary. It's because you're doing so with MDMA. So I thought it kind of, when we were talking about the ego, like it's just a defense mechanism, that made me think of that kind of therapy.
That sounds scary as hell to me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, just like me just floating to my inner child. You know what I mean? Just walking with 7-year-old me. You know, I'm just like, what?
Oh no!
But it'll probably, like, it sounds like it might work though. Honestly, but I just like, my brain is like,
yeah.
If you ever end up trying it, we want you back on.
Yeah.
I might do it on the show. Like, I'm.
Oh, hey, down! Oh my God. We do want to kind of switch the topic to what it's like to dating a narcissist, and
let's hop into love bombing.
Yeah.
What is that? Because
we've experienced and we hate it.
Why do you hate it though?
Because it's been followed up with all of that love and attention and affection just taken away for no reason. And it's like we've been stuck in situations where it's like, wait, what happened? Did we do something? Did we not say something? Like, what did we do?
So that's the goal right there, because you feel like it was taken away for no reason. There's always a reason behind it being taken away. That's why there's never a set time for love bombing. It's like how long does it last? Like, is it 3 months, 2 months? It can last for years. Mm-hmm. It's just something it's something in the narcissist's head that kind of just goes off, and you're just like, what am I doing here? You know?
Yeah.
Like, who am I? Like, who the hell have I been? Like, and then you just start to be your normal self. So it seems like the love bombing has stopped, but in our head, it's still going on. You know, we're just doing what we normally do. Like, we stop doing the stuff that you want, the stuff that you like, the stuff that you love. And we start doing the stuff that we like and love. And like, most of the times, you don't like that type of stuff. He's like, hey, you don't give me flowers anymore. Like, so, like, they're dead plants. Like, why do you want things that are gonna die? Like, you want things like flowers die. Like, our love is gonna live forever. You don't need a flower that's gonna die to represent us.
So
that means our love is gonna die. You know, stupid stuff like that. It can stop for any reason though. Like, I remember, like, my wife, she said something to me. Like, it's like, you know, we were drunk partying one day. Like, we were still dating. And I remember she said something. She told me that she had slept with somebody that I knew, and it's just like, and I feel like my brain was like, I just started looking at her differently. I literally started looking at her differently. Like, she wasn't the same person to me anymore, and she didn't do anything. Like, she had done nothing to me, but what she said to me, like, it hurt my ego. Like, and it just stopped. Like, and
so you stopped the love bombing after that.
Yeah, that was early in the relationship. That was like a couple of months in. We've been together 9 years. Think about that.
Is love bombing a tactic to either A, get control over somebody and kind of like reel them in, or is
it intentional?
Yeah, is like, or is it like a mind? Do you like get pleasure from playing mind games with somebody, or like would a narcissist get pleasure from kind of playing a mind game?
This kind of goes back to what I said at the beginning. Like, we can't regulate our own emotions. So this is my like thing on love bombing. Like, I always remember wanting to be in love, like wanting to feel that feeling, wanting somebody to love me for me, because like the people who I looked up to didn't love me for myself. I was never good enough for them. So I'm going to be good enough for you. So whatever you like, I'm going to do times 10. Like, you like this stuff, I'm going to give it to you times 10. And it, like, where you are happy, I'm happy. I'm like, yay, she's happy. You know, I'm doing this. I'm in love. And I say, like I said, it's not a tactic to me. It's a tactic to get you to like me and accept me. But it's not like I go into it like, I see this sexy girl on Facebook, you know, I'm gonna love bomb her, I'm gonna use her and abuse her. You know, that's not how some people's mind works that way, but that's not how my mind works. That's more like a malignant sociopath, psychopath craziness. You know what I mean?
Okay.
My mind is like, I want to be in love. Like, I want to feel like a normal human being. I want to be normal. Like, how do I be normal? Like, what's normal? Like, normal is falling in love, getting married, having kids, buying a house. That's normal. So let me be normal. Like, how do I get you to love me? You can't love this mess of me. You can't love this person. So who will you love? Oh, you like this? You like Prince Charming? Let me be Prince Charming. Here's your flowers, baby. Hey, baby, I cooked you breakfast this morning. Hey, look, I know you like your feet rubbed. You had a hard day at work and stuff like that. Like, now you love me. Now you care for me.
So
I'm like, so now you love and care for me. Like, so can I be myself now? And when I'm myself, you like,
yeah.
You don't rub my feet anymore. Like, I actually don't like feet, you know?
Well, yeah, I want to ask.
I don't like feet.
I feel like narcissists can be considered like master manipulators because they can mimic traits or pick up on things that they know somebody else will like, or that they know that they will be accepted, or that they know will give them notoriety or attention or validation. And then like they can turn it off because that's not really who they are. That's just like traits that they've picked up.
Yeah. So I've never felt like I could be myself ever. You know, I'm like, nobody can love this mess of me. Wow. So I used to read like, how do you get girls? Like, I used to read Cosmo magazine. I remember going to the bathroom. Like, you in the bathroom an hour. I'm like, I'm in there reading Cosmo. Like, oh, you know, I'm trying to learn women. I'm trying to learn what makes women happy.
Wow.
Women like funny guys. Like, I'm gonna make girls laugh. That's what I'll do.
Whoa.
I want to be funny. I want to find humor in every situation. This is creation. Oh, girls like people who work. They like people who work out. I'm gonna go work out. Oh, they like people who they like dreads. Like, I'm gonna get some dreads. You know.
Yeah.
I'll become who you want. I'll become who you want. Not who you want me to be. I'll become who you want.
And that's for only a short amount of time, right?
It could be, like I said, just
on average.
I mean,
until they're in.
You can only have a mask on for so long, you know.
So this this getting to figure out like how get girls to like you and reeling them in, like not you, but just like in specific, like just general, like reeling them in, and then when they're there, then you're like, oh, now I can kind of. I don't really like feet. I don't really like this. Like,
when do you feel comfortable to like stop, like, or to start being yourself?
Yeah, like,
how do I? It goes from how do I impress her to get her to how do I keep her?
Okay.
And like, I can't do this forever. Like this not. I don't like. I used to like it at first because you liked it, but now it's kind of like I'm doing too much for you. Like, when do I get to feel good, really?
Okay.
And it, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what a breadcrumbing comes in. You know what breadcrumbing is, right?
No, what is that?
You give them little bits of love and stuff like that, so they feel appreciated. You give them little glimpses of who you used to be, so you won't leave. So it gets like, he's still in there. I got another 3 years left in me. You know what I mean? I want to leave, but like I'll rub your feet one night. He's like, oh, you rub my feet again. He loves me again. You know.
So guys are aware of this.
It keeps them chasing that validation. You know, it's like gives them just enough. And you reposted something that like really hit a chord with me about how if you might have dated a narcissist, it becomes like an addiction. Like chemically in your brain, it releases some stuff that is. It's very similar to a heroin addiction, and most heroin addicts say that, hey, look, like, I don't want to be addicted to heroin. Just the withdrawal and the come down is so bad. Like, that's why I continue to do it. And so that's how some people get caught up in this like cycle of like chasing validation and staying in like not so good situation because it chemically becomes an addiction. And like you get your fill by the like breadcrumbing. Like you can get just addicted to that like little small ounce of validation, even though it's not a lot, even though it's not sustainable, it keeps you going.
Yeah, just a little bit of who you think I am will keep you in this little circle for a longer period of time.
Yeah,
and it works. So like it just works. You know what I mean? Like, and Matt Pfeiffer did that video, and like I said, I'm still learning. You know what I mean? I'm not like a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. It just sometimes it comes off like I'm talking from that point, that perspective. But like, this is just how my vernacular goes, because I know the way I can talk like this and people accept it more. Like, he's educated. He can, like, I'll listen to him because he sounds like he's educated. But I can talk hood to him. Like, look, what's going on, like, boy? I can switch it up. Like, it depends on who I am. Like, who I'm with, I can play that role. You know, I have a ton of useless knowledge in my head. You know, and then when you get like you said, when you get addicted, when that dopamine and that stuff it goes into your brain, like you don't want, like, you're like, this withdrawal period is gonna be so hard on me. Like, I get people to I get some of the strongest people like that message me and talk to me and stuff like that. Like, I've been no contact for 6 months, and you know what? I gave in and texted him today, and now I'm pregnant. Like, God, you know, like, I called him 3 weeks ago, and I just took the pregnancy test, and I'm pregnant. What do I do? I'm like,
ooh, that's a lot to take on.
I'm pro-choice, so you know.
Yeah.
Your body, your choice, your rules. You know what I mean?
Are sex addictions and fear of commitment common traits in narcissists?
I would say it kind of just depends. You know, what I mean, some people have like huge like porn addictions. You know what I mean? It's like porn addiction. I had a porn addiction. I had like to wean myself off of porn, which sounds weird. I'm like, what am I doing? You know, I can get girls. I can do this. You know, I just like porn. Like, being in control of what I watch, being in control of what I do. You know, but some people have that sex addiction. Some people are like super sadists and want to beat people, masochistic, and want to beat people, and it's just whatever it takes to get you to feel like a normal human being, like where you can actually exercise some control over your own life situation, is what narcissists become addicted to. Like, right now, my addiction is like TikTok, because I can control my own narrative on TikTok. You know, I'm like, I can be who I can. Like, TikTok, I feel like I can be myself at home now. But like, I feel like TikTok, I can like say what I want to say now. I can say what I want to say. I've built my reputation up good enough where people, they see me as a sort, like a defender of sorts. Like, I'm defending people now. It's like, which I get it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I wouldn't say I'm a hero of anything. You know, if I was an X-Men, I'd be like Magneto. You know, I was like, I'm like that. I feel like Magneto has good intentions, but he just goes about them terribly. You know what I mean? It's like, let's make mutants let's make mutants more mainstream, but like, we gotta destroy everybody else.
Was fear of commitment ever a thing for you? Like, were you ever scared to commit to somebody, like, in a relationship?
Yeah. I've been like, I was scared to get married. You know, I proposed and all that stuff, because like, it felt, I mean, I was in love with my wife, of course, but like, it just felt like I said, like, this is what I'm supposed to do to be normal. Like, I'm supposed to get married. I'm supposed to do this. Like, I feel like she had to, like, because I wouldn't plan a wedding or whatever. I feel like she had to force plan the wedding, you know, because I was like, we're engaged. This is like, this is ride this engagement out, you know, but she's planning the wedding. You know what I mean? So commitment is a big thing. Like, you can get them committed in the beginning. They're like, if you want a narcissist commit, do it quickly. You know, they'll do it quickly. They're like, you know, I love you, girl. I know it's only been 3 hours, but I love you. You know, let's get married.
In one of your,
I'm like,
in one of your videos, you said that you were actually like obsessed with your wife, which is one of like an obsession was a thing. Yeah,
that's one of my obsessions, because like, she's a good person. Like, I'm obsessed with, my addiction is people. I'm addicted to people. Like, what makes them tick. I'm like, why do you feel this way? It's been the same way for a long time. That's how I was reading Cosmo, when I'm like trying to be funny, when I'm learning stuff. I'm like, why do you do what you do? And like, she just is an enigma to me. I want to figure her out. You know, I'm just like addicted to like figuring out what makes her a good person and what makes her, people like her, people love her. You know, even when she came on she did a live on my page the other day. I mean, her video on my page, even though I've helped thousands of people, somehow her video gets more views than anything I posted on my Instagram. Like,
yeah, you like to study people.
What was the first thing she noticed, or what was the first instance that she noticed when she realized you're like, that you're a narcissist? Like, was there a specific thing that you did that make her be like, oh God?
I don't know. I had to ask her that. I really don't know. There were some moments in time, but like in the beginning, when we first like started dating, when I was talking to some other girls, whatever, I just told her I wasn't. But like, you know, and I like went on a date one night with another girl, and the other girl just happened to, like, she was watching the other girl's Facebook and just happened to post about having a good date night with me, and like, say she was like sitting at a stoplight crying over, listening to Monica or something like that. So listening to Monica or Brandy or something like that. And it's like, I didn't,
Yeah.
But I have to ask her that,
Okay.
Yeah. What's a common like first sign that you might be dating a narcissist?
I don't know. I always tell people, like, if you want to know if you're dating a narcissist or involved with a narcissist, criticize them safely. Make sure you're safe, because people like to hit people.
It's a good way to tell.
Criticize them, insult them.
Oh fuck.
Enforce a boundary. You'll find out quick. You'll find out quick.
Push their buttons.
Really quick. You'll find out really quick. They're like, how do you know? It's like, he just loves me so much. Like, put off his advances. Like, girl, I love you so much. I think we should do this. Like, it's kind of fast. How's it fast? You want it. You'll find out quick. Slow them down. Slow down. That's how you know. Slow the relationship down. Slow it down. Slow down.
Okay. Damn. Good to know.
Don't push the brake. Don't push the brakes to the floor. Just tap the brakes a little bit. Just tap them. So the rear lights come on. Just tap them a little bit.
I've honestly, ever since I started watching your videos, learning about narcissism, X, Y, and Z, and understanding and kind of picking up on the games that people have played with me, I've almost been like, this is not healthy. Been playing the same games back to them, giving them the taste of their own medicine.
Same.
If that makes sense.
So somebody sent me a message like that today. Was it you?
I don't think so.
Somebody sent me that exact message.
But
today.
I know that it bugs them. I know that it pushes their buttons. I feel it.
What she said the exact same thing. I don't know where it was on Instagram. I think it was on Instagram. She said the exact same sentiment. She was like, I don't know if this is right, but I feel like if I push these buttons,
are you trying to find it?
I wanted to see if I can find it really quick, but I'm not good. I literally have 1,000 messages on Instagram. Like it's like insane. Like it's literally 1,000 messages on here. I'm like,
there's no way you're gonna find that.
I can't respond to them all. It was today though. It was like a few hours ago, so it should be at the top. But like people don't send like a little short, hey, thank you message. They send, hey, thank you. Here's 17 screenshots.
It's a lot.
They want me to diagnose somebody else. I mean, I like, look, I can't diagnose your boyfriend or your ex-girlfriend. Or I just can't do that. Like, is that narcissistic? Yeah, it could be, but I can't label. I don't like labeling people.
What I was reading is you can have and carry narcissistic qualities and characteristics, but still not be diagnosed with NPD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, well,
you have to be special.
I have narcissistic characteristics. Like my career, like is fucking one of them.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everybody, like this country as a whole, has some narcissistic characteristics. I did want to ask, do narcissists kind of go after people of status or more empathetic people?
I think everybody has their own type, but like from what I've seen, like I don't know. Me personally, I think it has something to do with how you were raised. Like I like strong, powerful, intimidating women. I love that. I don't know. It's like my kick. I like it. In control. Women are in control and in charge that I can control. I can be in charge of. I like you control all these people, and I'm in control of you. Like who's really in control? It's like a puppet thing. It's stupid, but like that's how my mind works. Like but some people, they go after people, that have like low self-esteem, they have like the daddy issues, they have the mommy issues. They just really, it depends on the type. Like I've had
to control. Yeah,
I've had like weak-minded women. I've had strong-minded women. Like it's kind of, I don't think it's intentional. Like you vibe with who you vibe with, and that person just has to be strong. Like especially if you're meeting somebody platonically. Like online, I feel like you can have your own type. Like.
I wasn't sure if there was like a specific type of woman that you like to control more of.
Like I said, the strong woman just, I don't know. It's just,
it
could be some wired in my brain. But like, give me somebody that's in charge. Give me like, I used to blast Neo's Miss Independent. Like,
oh my god,
that's my song.
Is vulnerability a scary thing for you? But you're really vulnerable on the internet.
But you also said that you're not 100% honest.
Yeah, I'm not what I say. There you go. So I'm selectively vulnerable. You know what I mean? I can choose which vulnerabilities to expose. Like, I can pick and choose what I want to say, what I want to reveal, because like what is going to help me today? What is going to help propel me further? Like saying this might being vulnerable about my sociopathic thoughts might retract people's like, well, you're crazy, you know. So you don't tell people about that type of stuff. You just like tell people about the narcissistic stuff you done. You know, so I can be selectively vulnerable. You know, and like you have to trust people. You know, I don't trust too many people on the internet, but like, hey, you go with who you go with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Do you find yourself having to like rewire how you function or rewire your brain, or just like do you catch yourself stopping yourself in your tracks and being like, I want to do it this way, but I need to do it this way?
Every morning. Literally every morning, it's like a battle. Like it's an endless battle. The second I wake up, it's like me versus me. I'm just like, I need to get up at 5:30. Do we though? And it's always we. You know, he's like, do we? Like we can get up at 6 and be just fine. But then I'm like, okay, we can get up at 6. I get up at 7. Now my day is ruined. So the negative part of my brain is in control from the rest of the day because I chose to listen to it. To take an extra 30 minutes of sleep, it turned into an extra hour, and it's ruined my day, my start. You know, so it's like that's what my post. Like this has been my little slogan on Facebook for like 5 years. Like every day I wake up and battle my demons. Sometimes I win, sometimes they do. It's like my slogan, because every day is a different battle. You know, and I think that's one of the main things that my wife has said that has helped her, you know, regulate our relationship. Is like she has learned to like to read my energy better. How I'm feeling. Like if I'm in a low, like, you know, she don't ask me to do a whole bunch of BS. But if I'm in a high, she's like, hey, let's go out here and build a shed. You know, let's go out here and
smart. She's it sounds like she's learned to kind of like adapt and just like understand and be there for you.
Yeah, she you know, people ask me like, how does she feel about mental illness? Like she kind of, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. She likes, you know, me being able to be myself and talk about it online, but like she thinks she kind of started thinking like, you're getting praised for like the mental abuse you used to do to me, you know. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword with her. But I think she's coming along the lines like we've had like talks. We have more open talks now. Yay therapy. We can talk openly. Yay therapy. You know. But I get to the point where like, you know, I told her like I wouldn't be mental illness or Lee Hammock or whoever I am right now without her being in the picture, because nobody else would have called me a narcissist. You know, somebody else might have laid down and took what I was doing. You know, they wouldn't have said, they would have stood up to me and had the strength to say that. So
it was about like
it was about like 5 years of I guess what she would say like not abuse, but maybe like of whatever
you can
abuse
before. It wasn't no physical.
Before shining a light on it. Yeah, no, not like physical, but before like shining a light on it, there was about like a few years she had to deal. Has it gotten better since then?
Yeah, I would say it's gotten better because like unaware, no therapy. I think she left me like 3 times, but like. Unaware, she probably left twice. And she left me once when I was being aware. You know, I think people think like, you're so aware. Like, I wish my husband could get like that. Like, y'all, I need to explain to y'all that she's actually left me this year. Like, I'm not easy to deal with. I think people, because like people see my persona online, like he's so funny, he's just so energetic. Like he conveys narcissism in a way that people can understand it and not feel sick to their stomach most of the time. But like. That's just, I mean, I'm like this in real life, but like, you know, it's worse when you know me. Like, of course, it's gonna be like everybody, the people who know you the most get it the worst with narcissists. This is how it is, you know. Because I come home after a day of being somebody else. I gotta come home and like, I'm gonna let the guard down at home. Like, shut up, I don't want to hear it when I get home, you know. And that's why people like the narcissist at work, like people love the work narcissist. Like, he is just a great guy at work, and at home, like. I just get no appreciation. Nobody supports me here, you know. I wish I can go to work, you know. That's why they start cheating. That's why they start doing all kinds of craziness, because they don't feel appreciated at home as much as they do at work. Because at home they're not getting treated as good as they are at work. So
okay, do you wish you weren't a narcissist?
I used to. I used to. I mean, it's like I used to ask why me. You know, I was like, why me? Why did this happen to me? I have a twin brother. Like, why not him? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh wow!
Like, we grew up in the same household. Like, why not him? Why is it just me? But then I listened to a Les Brown motivational speaker. He's like, why not you?
Yeah.
And then he said people complain all the time. He said people say, why me? Why me? And he was like, why not you? If not you, then who? I'm like, who? Like now this is the narcissist kicking in. Like, who better to take on this burden than me? You know?
Well, I mean, I was just about to say, like, look at what you're doing. Like, you're helping a lot of people and bringing awareness to it.
Mm-hmm. And that's, like I said, that's the goal. Like, I want to bring awareness to, because, like, I remember that feeling of, like, when I got diagnosed and, like, feeling by myself, like, and it's like 1%, 0.5% of the population, like, you can't spot it. We don't have tags on us to spot who else is a narcissist. So we can't group up and, like, have little meetings and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I'm alone. I don't like feeling alone. I can see why people, when they feel alone, they're just like, well, I'm going to go and kill myself. You know, I would just commit suicide. You know, I can understand that. You know, I'm not going to do it. You know, but, like, I can understand why people do that, because, like, you feel alone in the world, and, like, you've hurt so many people in different ways, and, like, you have when you get diagnosed, like, it all comes back to you. Like, you see it. It's kind of like, you know, like the butterfly effect. You see the movie? Like, he sits there and, like, he goes back in time. Everything happens. You know, like, damn, all this stuff. I've been a terrible person. You know, and it's just like, and that's one of my therapist says, she's like, you got to forgive yourself. You know, that's one thing. It's like, it's hard. It sounds unbelievable, like, but you have to forgive yourself, because I feel like I've been on autopilot for 30 years. You know, I've been on autopilot, living my life for 30 years, and I feel like right now, the last 4 years, or whatever, I've been kind of getting control. Like, I've been like, let me fly a little while. You know. So the last 4 years has been, like, way better than the previous 30. You know, just from be aware in therapy, and I want everybody. I want to share this feeling with everybody, and that was my intent on starting my TikTok, was like just to share this feeling with everybody. Like, hey, look, guys, I'm a narcissist, and I get to tell people I'm a narcissist.
Yeah.
And I still have friends, I still have family. People still accept me for who I am. And then, but, like, it just ended up being what it is now. It's like people heard me say that on the other side of the thing. It's like, wait, you're a narcissist? I think my husband's a narcissist. Why'd you do this? And I was like, hey, the reason I did something like that was because of this. And they were like, oh my God, that makes sense. I'm not crazy. And, like, it just kind of manifested. It's still the goal is still the same. The goal is still, like, to make other narcissists feel like they can, like, come out the closet is a terrible term, but just reveal themselves.
Yeah.
You know? Just, like, to reveal themselves, is like, hey, look, I have a mental illness. Like, it doesn't excuse my behavior for the previous X amount of years, but, like, this is why I'm going to try to be better, and that's all you can hope for.
Yeah,
that's all you can want. And
you're painting a better picture for, like, what people think narcissists are, because, like we said, like, people think that they're just, like, intentional, like, assholes, and, like, whatever we were saying.
There is intent, you know.
That's what I was gonna ask. I mean, do narcissists ever feel bad for how they can gaslight and manipulate others, or is it just like a sociopath where you just, like, don't really feel anything?
I feel like deeper narcissists, like, when you get to that, you start going down a little dark triad, a little bit deeper to the sociopath and stuff like that, the psychopath, they don't feel bad. But, like, somebody that's a little lower on the level, like me, in the narcissistic spectrum, I feel bad all the time.
So you're aware, like, when if you're,
but even before I was aware, though, this is before I was aware. Like, I used to feel bad about stuff that I would say to people. I used to feel bad about screaming, but in that moment of screaming, in that moment of gaslighting and stuff like that, I felt good. I felt in control. I felt powerful. But afterwards, when you come down from that high, you feel like you small. You shrink down. You're like, damn. So you have to chase that feeling again. Like, I felt so powerful right then and there. Like, but now I feel like a piece of shit. But, like, I need to justify why I did that. So. Hey, if she wouldn't have said that to me, I wouldn't have got mad. So I'm cool now. So go about your life, you know. You continue, you go forward. You just I used to be so easy to justify my actions by placing it on other people. Like, the reason I said that was because you said this, yank. You know, the reason I did this because you did this, yank. And I feel good. I'm like, there's no blame to place on me. I did it because you. And that's how I used to be for 30 years. You know? I still do that now. I still do it now, but, like, it's not on a terrible level like that.
And also,
now,
your wife is probably, like, equipped now to be like, no.
Yeah.
It's kind of a double-edged sword, because, like, she thinks I'm lying all the time, and it's like, it's annoying sometimes. I think it's funny, you know. I'm just like, because the other day, like, what happened the other day? I had to run to the store to do something. I had to run to grab something. Oh, I had to to get the lights for this shit. I had to run to the store. I went upstairs and she was feeding the baby. I was like, hey, I need to leave real quick. I'm going to run to the store. And she kind of shushed me. She's like, shh, baby, sleep. I was like, okay, I'll be right back. She's like, okay. And I left and I came back. So where you go? Like, I went to the store to get the light. Like, no, you didn't. What light? For what? Did he bring the light? I'm like, no. I just came in here and said, it's like, I feel like you gaslighting me. No, wait a minute. No. I was like, no. So I have to try harder to tell the truth.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That is I mean.
Yeah, I have to try harder to be truthful now. You know what I mean? Anyway, I had to step back. Like, look, I said this, and you shush me. She's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah,
okay,
yeah. It's kind of a double-edged sword. I'm self-aware, but like I'm still a narcissist, so you gotta watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, dang.
Thank you for all of the info.
Yeah, we have 3 questions we want to ask you before we kind of wrap it up, though, and they're totally random. We ask them to everybody. Okay. So first question is, if you could be good at any Olympic sport, hot or cold, and you're the best at this, gold medalist, what would it be?
I would say sprinting. I just want to go faster than everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sprinting, just fast. Like like Usain Bolt. He had a perfect name, like Bolt. Like.
Okay. Good to know. Okay.
Okay. Second question: what is your favorite way to eat a potato?
Eat or bake,
or cook. There's so many different kinds.
I like a good baked potato.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like with butter and bacon and all the other good stuff.
The good old Southern version.
Yeah.
It has to be baked. Like the outer part has to be like crispy, but like the inside has to be just hot enough to like while you eat it. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
It has to burn. It has to burn a little bit while it's going down. You're like, it's good. You know.
Okay. Our third question is, which this might be a weird one for you, but assuming there's no freakouts or whatever, and you actually have an amazing time doing this, would you rather smoke on the beach or trip in the desert? Let's assume you have an amazing time and no anxiety.
Like smoke on, like trip like psychedelic
wise? Yeah, smoke weed on the beach or trip psychedelics in the desert, and you have an amazing time.
Give me the beach. I've seen too many terrible desert movies where like it's just endless. Like it's just I would literally go crazy. nothing but sand. I would literally go crazy. Like, I would go crazy.
Okay, that's fair. Well, dang.
Literally. I get it, man. It's scary. It's a scary thought. I'm like, woo.
Okay, that's good to know. Well, I mean that wraps it up. Yeah.
Well, thank y'all for having me on here.
We're so honored you came on, and we really learned a lot. And it was interesting to also kind of dip into your brain even while you're talking, just to kind of get in there and see how you think about things. It's interesting. Yeah. Can you
more logic?
Yeah. Can you kind of tell our people listening or watching where they can find you and anything you're working on?
So you can find me on TikTok, of course, at Mental Healness. Mm-hmm. On Instagram at mental_healness. I gotta get that name. YouTube, I have a YouTube channel and a podcast, both called Mental Healness, The Narcissist Code.
Wow.
I'm working on a book here coming out pretty soon. I'm gonna try to finish that from my perspective here in the next couple of weeks. I'm gonna try to get that knocked out. Then you'll find me on CBS next month with the TV show The Doctors.
That is awesome.
And a long segment on The Doctors, which is like it's kind of insane. You know, it's like random person reached out to me on Instagram. It's like, hey, you kind of helped me get over my narcissist.
Wow.
I'm an AP on The Doctors. I'm like, really? And here we are.
I'm excited to see. That's going to be amazing.
That's so cool.
I was nerds.
You got it.
Yeah, you got it. We're like I said, we're honored you came on, and we learned so much, and we really appreciate you. And props to your wife for going through all that with you.
She a real one.
Yeah. Love to have her on one day soon. That'd be great.
Just message me. She has a TikTok page too. I think her TikTok is like 137,000 people on there.
Okay. I need her on. I have a lot of questions.
She doesn't do narcissist content. Her TikTok take off because like we have like a mixed baby. You know, he's like 100% like a little white boy. So it's kind of funny.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much again, and we really appreciate you coming on.
Well, thank y'all, and I appreciate y'all. So let me know.
Okay, we'll keep in touch.
Bye.
All right.